startup ecosystem, what the idea is that you have to learn how to pitch your idea clearly and concisely. And once you learn how to do that, then you can bring in all the stakeholders and you can get into programs that'll help you and train you on how to build it. But that first step is you have to design a business model that is desirable.
When I initially moved back to Pensacola, I had a meeting with Lloyd. Lloyd invited me for breakfast and I was telling him, man, I still have an idea for the entertainment industry. This is what I wanted to do. He was like, all right, I got Startup on the Blocks. So I need you to start coming to Startup on the Blocks and get a little more information on how to work through the tech ecosystem and take your idea and we'll get you where you need to go. My company is called The Know, is an app that is streamlining business for the entertainment industry. Yeah, so if you're a musician, what you would do is pretty much jump on the platform, you'll create a profile, but the way we created the profile is pretty much a cleaner way. So now if they want more information about you, you'll connect your social media platforms, your streaming platforms, and that way they can go directly to it. What we also have included is your calendar. So pretty much you can set your days, you can set your price for your days and automate your booking. So initially talking to Lloyd, my idea was all here, it was there, it was over here, it was over there. It was like, all right, Quinn, I get it. You got a lot that you want to do, but we need you to bring it in just a little bit and then work on your pitch, your story, and how you're going to bring it full circle to get people to understand what you're trying to create.
Most of the programs here wasn't inclusive, and so we said we'll focus on helping founders of color. We also start at the beginning of the thing, at the idea stage, whereas a lot of the programs you see here locally, they start after you're up, and that's not very efficient unless if you don't have a lot of money, you can't recover from your mistakes. And the lean startup system, it actually helps you make mistakes faster before you spend a lot of money. You don't actually start building anything until you got customer buy-in.
There was a need for small businesses to bring brand awareness to their business. I see there's a lot of makers and bakers that they're making all of these goodies and these products, but they can't market it, they can't sell it at the same time, and there needs to be kind of like that middleman, that middle person to help bring economic growth to some of the small businesses in Pensacola. So Taste of Pensacola, I came up with that idea during the pandemic when I saw things at that time that Amazon couldn't fulfill. They didn't even have those products, but the local people in the community, they did. And so there was a ton of people coming out saying, hey, I make masks. I'm like, wow, this is amazing. All the local people here that are just as talented that can actually make those products. And so I wanted to kind of showcase who they were. So with Taste of Pensacola, our income streams, we have several of them. We have the corporate America, we do corporate gifting, just regular consumers, different Pensacola natives that don't live here that want to purchase our boxes, like a taste of weddings, distribution. So we also do bulk sales. So for a private airline, if they want some local snacks and goodies on their passenger flights, they will come to Taste of Pensacola and we will source their vendors here locally. And we'll give a small business owner an opportunity to have reoccurring monthly sales. I've always had a really big vision for Taste of Pensacola. I knew that it could go beyond just local. I know that maybe other communities could possibly use the same platform that I'm trying to build. And I always have these big visions, but I never know how to even get there. Where do I start? I know it's more than, there's a lot of technical things behind it. I know there's a lot of research, but that connection, I never had it until, thankfully, I met and was introduced to Startups on the Blocks and was able to just learn more about how to grow it in terms of data. Things I just never thought about, framework, words like traction. There's a lot of things that I just did not know about and language that I need to know in order to get funding for my business. There's just a lot that I didn't know.
I would go to the stores and look online. They didn't have a wide variety of natural hair products about 8 years ago. And the ones that they did have, the ingredients, it would say that they were all natural. And when I would research the ingredients, a lot of the ingredients were not natural. I make everything, my shampoo, conditioner, I have an oil that I make, and I have 2 different separate butters. Like I had some people who were completely bald and grew their hair. It's about giving women their confidence back in their hair. I have this salon and then I have a second salon, and I have my products in about 5 beauty supply stores. So I need a manufacturer to keep up with the demand at this point. Startup on the Blocks has helped my business grow. Send me to different people. I'm able to do different pitch competitions to apply for grants in the community for small businesses. Lloyd's a really good person to connect with. He has a lot of resources here in the community that can help small businesses grow. If you have a product out there and you're trying to go big time, he's the person that you would want to meet with.
So it's really important to have some type of support because 9 times out of 10, most founders start out on their own. And to have somebody that has an idea of how the ecosystem works and is able to tap into other resources and bring back to the community, and that pretty much has encountered some of the roadblocks or going through the same roadblocks that we're currently going through and understands where you're at, your culture and how you respond to things, is a big help because you don't really have too many people that have access to what we have access to here in the community. And a lot of people believe that you have to leave and go to bigger cities to do the things that we're doing here. But I mean, it's one thing to have exposure, but you have to actually know it's here in the community in order to take advantage of the resources. So I get approached and I talk to friends all the time that wants to either start an idea or hear that I'm actually doing the app and wants to know more information about how are you doing it or what's the process, what's the path. I'm like, man, we have somebody here, Startup on the Blocks, Lloyd Richard. And Lloyd is here, he's a great resource to the community and to founders that's trying to learn the ecosystem. So join Startup on the Blocks.
What's going on there, Ray? How's it going?
Good evening. How are you today, Lloyd?
Oh, good. I'm doing great. Cassandra, there should be a link in the chat, so if you can use that to kind of watch from there. We may have sent out the wrong link there. Alrighty. So yeah, welcome to Startup on the Blocks, everybody, where we do startup founders best practices, and we're definitely glad to have you all here. Glad to have Ray here. Come back for a follow-up visit. I guess it's been a while, Ray. Maybe 1.5, 2 years. I don't. It's been because that was. But you was on probably back in 2023. I'm guessing.
Yeah, 2023. Yeah, it was.
Yeah, but yeah, we're glad to kind of get you back on and kind of catch up with you and see what's all going on with your startup. But first, I'm going to share my screen and we're going to sort of give a little shout out to some of our partners and sponsors here. Yes. All righty. So, and of course, Ray, I know you know all about the Blackfin Technology Foundation. Yeah, that's where we met and, had, great experience, learning together and trying to figure out all this lean stack stuff, business model design, and how to help other folks learn it. Yeah. So, but it's been a journey. We've actually came a long way since you were in the program, but thanks to these different partners here, I think we had the startup science thing back when you were in as well, but they literally updated that. I don't know how many times, but they got all kinds of tools in there now. Ray, they got pitch competitions, they got grants stuff, perks, all kind of stuff in there. So, and it's got all the stuff in. It's a training platform, so all the stuff you need to kind of know to keep going through those different phases of your startup. So that's basically what that is all about. And Coda, that's kind of like a little back office software. All of our founders, you get our partner link, select up. Let's have one of the partners when you go on there and you get 6 months free of that with unlimited AI. So that's what the deal is there. But anyway, so we just been expanding our partnerships, and then we're down in Tampa for the Synapse, and we're basically end up getting some more partnerships there. So yeah, that's basically what the deal is. So definitely excited about all that stuff to keep the ball rolling. And these are some of our money folks that help us pay the bills. And so we're glad to have them as partners as well. Yeah. So everybody likes to help founders progress and proceed on. Yes. All right, Ray, why don't you go ahead and do a quick introduction of yourself, and just so the folks will know who you are, and so we can kind of move forward there.
Okay, yeah. So thank you again, Lloyd, for having me on. Everybody, my name is Ray Arceneaux. I'm the founder of Diabetes Healthcare Company. I also have type 1 diabetes, and during the height of the pandemic, I saw myself managing my diabetes and thought about a way to help bring in all the different facets of diabetes into one platform. And so, as a software developer that I was, also I created something called the A1C plan. Definitely, it brings all the different aspects of someone managing diabetes into one platform, one place. And now leveraging AI is makes it even better. And so that's what
Fantastic.
I'm here to talk about. And that's kind of who I am. Love to play around with technology. And since I have diabetes, no better thing to do is to do something that's really close to myself. So
Yeah, that's really fantastic, Ray. We definitely, yeah, excited to have you on and kind of keep learning about your journey there. And so what we do on the Startup Founders Best Practices and all the training tools we have and all the AI stuff we have, we try to work with founders to guide them through the process of the number one foundation is doing the business models and designing scalable business models, and that's just business planning for those of you who might not be familiar with the term business models. And then so once you design your scalable business model, then you can pitch how you make money with your idea or your business, and then you can recruit co-founders, work with mentors, partners, get into programs and stuff. But we also guide you through the startup milestone. We have that program, Startup Science, and it's kind of a phased program. But our business model design is more of a milestone, the milestones that you have to reach. And so, but if you learn how to communicate and learn all that stuff, you can actually unlock everything that's out in the ecosystem. So, next week, the deadline for the 35 Muse thing is April 1st, but you have to go in there and fill out that application, and that's an example of a program. If you get in, it's like a $100,000 program. They give you $50K up front and $50K later on, and so you don't have to give up any equity. It's a tough program to get in, but there are a bunch of programs out there that don't require any equity, but also there are programs that give you free software, free a bunch of stuff to kind of help you move forward. And so that's what we're trying to prepare you for, is how to leverage the ecosystem. So you've been doing any stuff out in the ecosystem lately, Ray?
really not as much here lately. I've been focusing on building and getting ready to get into some of these conferences this year.
Yes.
Within the ecosystem of diabetes care. And so I've kind of really been, focusing on that the last couple of weeks,
Yes.
getting some things ready for that, but not too much in the ecosystem right now, Lloyd.
Yeah. So like in your health space and the diabetes stuff, all that kind of stuff, that's actually an ecosystem within an ecosystem, because so like if I were in your shoes, I would be out there learning about all the programs that's that target healthcare startups and stuff like that. And so yeah, that's basically where you're going to have the most success at those organizations, corporations that are specifically work with healthcare related startups. And so, as I mentioned before, these are our main core programs that we leverage to help founders do. And we haven't got much going on with the folks using the Co-Founder OS yet, but we're going to have Eric Parker on next month, and he's going to share some of the insights on that program. It's kind of like leverages AI to kind of help you know what your skill level is, and it's got a lot of other good features in it as well. And this patent hack thing, I'll just go to the next slides. Through our relationship with the Black Innovation Leaders of Florida, we're actually offering this to founders, And we also have the ability to, once you complete the training here, you can, and if you want, we have scholarships for a limited number of scholarships for people to file a trademark or their patent. So that's what this program is all about. And so you just go to the Kakoi Institute Get Started page and just click on the link and fill out the form, and we can get you into that training. It's kind of like a self-study thing. So so this is what I'm excited about now. Spending a lot of time on is promoting this Black Founders Innovation Summit, and so that core theme, AI as a pathway to wealth, empowerment, and legacy. So it's a interesting time. And Ray, with you leveraging some of these AI tools to kind of help you do what you're doing, how big an impact has it had with you, with your startup?
Well, Lloyd, I would say the impact has been tremendous because some of the things that I wanted to do were unreachable, and because of not only finance but also the trying to find the expertise to do
Yes.
it, right? And so now you have these tools that you can plan, you can create, and you can distribute, right?
Yes.
In the moment of in the matter of minutes. And
Yes.
then you can repeat. You can test that,
Yes.
repeat, test that, and repeat. And that's been able to help me get into some spaces and create some relationships that would have taken me, I would have to go to San Fran, I would have to go here. And now I can do that from home based on some of the tools that I'm using with AI and on LinkedIn and some of these tools that are like, okay, it would have took, it was a team of 10
Yes.
to do some of the things that one person or two people can do now. So yeah, I'm all into the AI because I feel like now you like mom and pop startups have the same tools that the enterprise big VC backed companies now have if they learn how to use them.
Yeah.
And so yeah, it's been amazing since like 2023.
Yes.
I first started using one of the tools back in 2022, and now you
Yes.
look at 2025 and it's like it's gotten that better, and it keeps on, it's going to keep on getting faster and faster. So yeah, it's been amazing. And so I would tell any founder that you have to learn these tools.
Yeah, for sure.
You think about stuff, and this is something I talk to my sons about. I have two sons, a 10-year-old and a
Yes.
13-year-old, and I tell them, at a point in life, there's the way how you are doing things or how you did do things, how you are doing things, and how we will be doing things in the
Right.
future. And that's the same thing with any problem. Any problem, the problem, like for example, diabetes is going to be that same problem. It's the same problem 10 years ago, 20
Yes.
years ago, and it's going to be the same problem 20 years from now and 40 years from now. And
Yeah.
so that's what you always told me and instilled into us in the cohort, is to fall in love with the problem,
Yes. Yeah.
because now we're seeing the solutions are changing right before our
Yes.
eyes now.
Yeah.
And a lot of people that are not adapting to that, even myself, I'm having to still see, okay, what's going to happen when this happens. So it's kind of
Yeah.
like being 3-4 steps ahead, but you can do that if you have the right tools, and AI can help you do that if you're
Yeah.
using it the right way. So
Yeah. I remember one of the last conversations we had, and you had integrated the little chat bot in your app, and I was wanting to make sure people wouldn't get confused whether it's the chat bot of the old days or the chat bot now with the AI, and because when you out there in the ecosystem and you're talking about what you have, one thing they're gonna want to know, how are you leveraging AI, because they literally know it's the tool to use to help you with what you're building.
yes,
Yeah,
literally, yes, yeah.
yeah,
And
that's exactly right. And so last year when we had the innovation summit, I wanted people, to kind of learn more about what innovation. So, and you may not have realized it, Ray, but when you said, diabetes, the problem is still the same. And then so Now you're building some new way to help people with diabetes. And so so in order to get somebody to use your product, that you got to get them to switch from what they're already using, to use yours. And that's what innovation is all about, is how to solve the problem more efficiently. And so it's all about the switch. People always say, well, I'm building something new and nobody else has it, so I don't have any competition. The old way is the competition. You have to get the person to switch, even if they're not doing anything. You have to get them to switch, and that's what a lot of people miss when they're building their startup. When they think they got such a great idea, nobody else has it. But yeah, all that old way is the competition.
Exactly. And when we are creatures of habit, and
Yeah.
habits are the hardest thing to change.
Yes.
So,
Yes. Yes.
yeah, and you have to understand that. So yeah.
Yeah. And so this summit, we're saying leverage AI, and in order to, whatever business you're in or whatever idea you have, leverage AI to help you move forward. And this particular summit, you don't have to have any experience or anything. What we want to do is get you exposed to people like Ray and stuff that are actually leveraging these tools, and we're making it accessible. We can have up to 1,000 people online, but we can only handle 100 in person. And so, but go ahead and get your registrations in, and so you can actually make sure you get the information. And the key thing about going ahead and registering, even if you're not available to watch it online or wherever you are when it happens, you still, if you register, we're going to give you access so you can go back and look at it. So that's what you got to remember. Now, this is some of the future startups that we're going to have, and there's Ray there with the A1C plan, and so he's going to be sharing some about his journey. But Bisa Peterson, she is a female woman founder, and I literally call her the modern day Hidden Figures. So she's like that, back with the movie Hidden Figures, and these smart women that are doing stuff. So she has developed a AI platform that you can actually get access to for free, to use. And so she will literally blow your mind. John there, he's actually leveraging a program out of Louisiana to build his Intellidor. So they're literally designing the hardware, designing the software, and everything. And based on this state program, he's getting it done at a discount. So you learn, by collaborating, getting these programs, you learn about it. Can you imagine having somebody to do the design for you of your invention, and all the AI stuff, do that AI stuff for you, the software, and they're doing it at a reduced price because it's a government program to help startups. So you definitely want to learn about that. And Webster, he's actually coming from San Francisco, so he's in the heart of the startup area, and he's has a digital pathology company, and he's just launched his MVP here recently, and he's leveraging AI. Now, Josiah, I don't know if y'all ready for Josiah. Josiah has several inventions, and Ray, one of his inventions is keyless encryption. So he's way out there. So yeah, but yeah, so we got some really high caliber folks coming in, but they're everyday people that you can relate to, and we're looking forward to Josiah and Dr. Wanda. She has this Vibe app, and definitely can't wait to learn more about that. So let's see. So if I don't know if you haven't met a Black bank president, Sydney, he's coming in from Mobile, and he's the president and CEO of the Commonwealth National Bank. So he'll be doing the keynote on the Friday evening session. Cibola, with all these times political stuff going on, and they trying to take us back to the Make America Great Again, but that's the time when Black people had a hard time. So that's where they want to take us back to. So Cibola is going to help you kind of be resilient to kind of get through some of that stuff. And Rose, she's the former NASA scientist out on her on right now. So she has an engineering firm. So she's gonna helping people understand how to use some of these AI applications. And Ray, you and Rose will have a session where you all actually you know talking about the tools you all use to kind of move forward. And so Adrian there in the middle. So whenever you have an idea, you have a product, you know, product designers, that's what Adrian does. He's the person that can lead you through the product development, whatever you're developing. And so he's going to share how to build great products. And so he's got, he's an amazing thing, founder, but he's really passionate about helping people build great products. Yeah, and Sharice, she's the money person to show you how to get the money, and Mike is a kind of cybersecurity expert. He's a cybersecurity certification, you name it, he's got it, and he owns a internet. He's a partner in an internet company downtown that provides high-speed internet. I mean, he's like vice president of InfoGuard, all that kind of stuff. But he works for IBM full time. So he's a heavy hitter, yeah. And so it's kind of hard to describe Mike. But when IBM heard that he was available for a job, they offered him. I don't know. He's probably making $500,000 now. So that's how strong this guy is. And B, she has her own. She's into cybersecurity too, so she's and she has her own TV show too. So she's got a lot to share. She's big on the AI stuff. So we got a good summit lined up. And if you notice what you see who these people are, you see they're black and brown people, and so we can do it. And so I don't know if you all actually heard about this idea of make Wakanda real. I think you saw some of those videos, right? And so what's your opinion on that, Ray? That's make a Wakanda real thing.
I'm glad that someone like Van and Will I Am are doing that.
Yeah.
Because it is real. It's here right before our eyes. Our people have always made things happen. And now we got these tools to even make them even happen, but to benefit us.
Yes.
And so that is, definitely something I've been on board with. I know they did the first workshop there in Atlanta when they did the whole weekend. They did Juneteenth weekend. It's the first event. And then you heard of Van Jones got $100 million from the Bezos Foundation to, initiate this. So I'm really excited about that. And love to see that. That's what motivates me to keep going, to see that, hey, like when you find the people that are doing the things that's going to push us forward. So I'm really excited about the make Wakanda real.
So like what was that superpower that they had in this mineral or thing, vibranium, or what was it? Vibranium. Okay. Yeah. So for those of you, the analogy is AI is the vibranium. So that's your superpower, and that's how you're going to make Wakanda real. It's your jetpack to kind of take your ideas and make them real again in the future. Yeah.
And at a marginal price. That's the one thing that a lot of people are not understanding. 25 years ago, some of the things I've been able to do would cost hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars, And so now some of the the tools that we have, they're free.
Yes.
Free 99, as I tell people, they're free 99. What's better than that? So now you have these tools that, you can utilize to create. And my big thing that before I even did this was not only about helping people manage diabetes, but also to create jobs from our community here in Nashville.
Yes.
That's ultimately what this all is about, creating companies that produce jobs that we can create jobs within our own community to be self-sufficient. And something like diabetes being like, what is it, $412 billion industry,
Yes.
and how many of us are spending money on diabetes, insulin, needles, all this? Why not create for our own in our own ecosystems that would create jobs? So yeah, it's full circle for me now at this point. I'm like, I have no excuses not to execute. No
Yeah.
excuses.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah. And so that's the kind of way I look at AI. If you need to know how to do something, you got the tools available to kind of help you. So Angela is asking, what's the name of your app?
Yes. So it's A1C plan, uh, the app. But one thing I want to let people know is that with the app, we're not in the App Store. We're not on Google Play, because what I'm doing, I'm working with Black and brown people that have diabetes. So now we can get our own data, because
Fantastic.
when we go out there and we try to find information about diabetes, they have all the big numbers, but they don't have the actual real data. So
Gotcha.
for one initiative that we've installed is that we have a community of people that have diabetes that are seeing that there's a need for us to own our own data about diabetes. Yes, we know we have diabetes, high blood pressure, all this, high cholesterol. They
Hmm.
tell us all the time, but now we're trying to find ways to how we can find out why, the
Hmm.
why. Like, we know if it's lifestyle, eating habits, or genetics, but now let's try to find a solution for it so we can cut it so we're not passing diabetes on. And one thing I'm big about, I know within our community, we always talk about building generational wealth. Well,
Yes.
I say we're building generational health one block of code at a time. And that's
Fantastic.
that's why when I go into the different churches, because that's one of my ecosystems, I go into the churches and I speak about building generational health. Everybody says your health is your wealth. Well, you can't get wealth without your health. Like, if my eyes go bad or my leg get cut off or something because I didn't manage, I can't do much, Lloyd.
Yeah.
So it's all about building generational health. With your health, then you can build something. So that's kind of the things I kind of really want to stress to some people about. Like, we need to use these tools, and we use them real fast now because time is of essence.
Right.
Like,
Right.
all hands on deck. If you have an idea that you want to bring out into the ecosystem, now's the time to do it.
Oh, for fan, that's because that is kind of, so this is kind of one of the things they say, that Ben and those folks say, that said this is the only time in history that the playing field is level. So you have the same tools that everybody else has. So it's literally a great starting point. And so it's just a matter of coming familiar with the tools. And that's one of the things we're going to make sure. And all the founders that are in our Black Founder program, we're definitely making sure, and we keep learning about more and more tools every day. And so one of the things, Ray, since you were here, we didn't have that business idea prompt when you were going through the program back there. And I think, when you were you one of the founders when I suggested using AI to help generate your pitch thing? I can't remember.
Yes,
It's been,
yes,
yeah.
sir. You put it in the counter there, and you was like, hey, if y'all having problems with your pitch, then go ahead and prompt it into to the chat GTP and see what'll happen. Yeah, you were.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and
Mhm.
so just to let you all know how amazing that was, I had read this article about leveraging AI to 100x your entrepreneurship, and I didn't know if ChatGPT knew anything about this lean canvas stuff I got here. So these are little icons of lean canvases, one-page business plan, and so I didn't know it. Nobody said so. I that morning of the demo day, and so you all were competing for, I think, just $1,000. Three people were going to win $1,000 each. But anyway, I said, are you familiar with the lean canvas? And the thing said yes. And I said, I suggested the idea, and I said, can you build a lean canvas for it? And it said yes. And so it built a lean canvas for that. Then I said, well, if you can do that, I say, this is a sample idea that I have. Can you use this template for the business model story pitch and create me a narrative for my pitch thing? And it did. So I sent it to Dominique, I think it was, and then I shared the prompt with everybody in the cohort, and you, her, and one other person reached out to me that day, and you three, and I wasn't a judge, you three won the pitch competition leveraging AI, and one day, you know, so that was pretty amazing. But since then, and the reason why I got this chart up there, so one of the things we did, Ray, was like in the lean stack where you're doing the business model design, these lean canvas one-page business plan, you plop your idea down, you know, who the customers are, what problem they have, and existing alternatives that they're using, the solution, the metrics, the unique value proposition, the channels, unfair advantage, your revenue model, and your cost stuff. And so in the 30-day business model design class, you have to do this big idea canvas. You have to break it up into the different customer segments. So who are your different customer segments, Ray, your these variants?
Yeah, so I have since the cohort, I have two. So I have enterprise and I have consumer.
Yeah.
And then I break them down. So if we want to go with like the consumer, well,
Yeah.
I've kind of reached out to the group. So my early adopters have been people who have gotten diagnosed with diabetes in the last 90 days.
Okay. Gotcha.
You know, they don't have those habits yet. They're still trying to understand and maneuver through this new lifestyle.
So basically that would be so that would be a segment of the people who have diabetes. So the ones that had it 10 years, they're going to be hard for them to break their habits. So that next thing you do after you do your big idea thing, you break it up into segments, and then and so these are just different types of customers, and then you do your stress test for desirability on that, and then so you take the customer segment, the problem they have, the existing alternative, and the value you bring to them, and you create your that's what you use to create a wide out elevator pitch. And the interesting thing about this elevator pitch, everybody hears about these elevator pitches, but the solution block is here, and the solution is not even in the elevator pitch. So wrap your head around that, and then so this is what happens the second week of the program. The third and fourth week, you test for viability, which is based on your pricing model and your metrics. The metrics are pretty much already set, and so it's just whatever price you're going to have, and you kind of like set a goal, and then the thing works backwards and tells you what you need to do to reach your goal. And then the stress test for viability, feasibility, and then you use all this information and you put it in your business model story pitch. So what I want to tell you, Ray, so now there's a prompt that does all this for you in 2 minutes.
I'm sure.
Instead of 30.
Sure it is, man. Sure it is.
Yeah. And so that's what, so, you know, so literally, and I actually did this last night. My wife was driving, we were coming back from Tampa, and one of the founders that we're working with, you know, he sent me his like one pager about his thing. And so I just, I pasted the prompt in Chat GPT, and I attached it his one pager. I said, for the following business idea, use this prompt to go through this whole process. So I sent it to him last night. He was freaking out, you know? So it's pretty amazing that if you just have an idea, his business is more even established, but if you just have an idea, you can leverage AI to flesh that idea all the way out. And that's a simple tool just to kind of keep you going forward now. So I'm gonna go ahead and escape out of this, and I did want to show one other thing. Let's see if I can find it real quick. Oh yeah, this is what I want to show right here. So like we created this Black Founder resource page where like for the 30-day program, we got created a podcast, and then we have a, just a the links to the the business idea prompt as well. But it just kind of summarized what the deal is, and then the 90-day program, the same thing, and some reading material, and stuff like that. But then we got the thing for the business idea prompt, so you can just copy the prompt and actually use it. And then we got this business operation prompt. Now this prompt it walks you through this describing all your business processes and creating all that, creating the automations and also it doesn't create the automations initially, but you lay out all your workflows, and then so when you get ready to automate all those processes, you got all of it documented. And so and then these are some AI agents that we created that you can talk to 24/7 and get all your questions answered. They know about all this startup stuff. And yeah, PitchBob is one of our partners, and so that's a great one to use there. And then also we're starting to populate all these AI platforms that you can kind of leverage to use. And we also have some testimonials from people who have went through some video testimonies. People went through the program. We even got our coaches, listed on there as well. But we're going to keep on building this out. And Adrian was telling me about this tool called VO today. So I'm going to look into it to see. Have you heard of that one?
Well, so I use a tool. I don't know if you heard of that. I don't know if I shared it with you yet. So there's a website called there'sAIforthat.com.
Okay. So AIforthat.com. Okay, I haven't heard of that.
Yeah, that one has all the tools, and it's updated. It's Dimesh, the guy who created HubSpot.
Yeah,
I believe they have some doing with it, but it's called there'sAIforthat.com.
Okay, AI for that. Yeah, and that's kind of the way I kind of think about what's going on with the stuff right now. It's because no matter what you want to do, there is an AI for that. It's this old way like there's an app for that, but now there is a AI for that as well.
Up there at the top there, up at the very top of the.
It was
that one the second one right there below the cursor. Yeah, that one right there, Lloyd. Here, let's see. Go down a little bit further. A little bit right there. That's the page.
Oh, okay.
Right?
Okay. So I'll put
throw that in the link. That's one that if whatever you're trying to do, they have it's free premium or whatever, but that's the one I use for everything. That one. Yeah.
Okay, fantastic. And it's the same thing when you're leveraging ChatGPT. If you got the paid version, you can go in there and see all the tools. And if you're trying to do it, there is a tool for that. And so
the one thing that I've used, Lloyd, for ChatGPT. So now I do pay $200 a month for mine.
Oh, you're big time now.
but I'd say that because I was paying for Netflix and Hulu and all these things.
Okay.
I canceled those and they got ChatGPT, the $200 version. But
so I want everybody to listen to that. What you just said. So what difference has that made for you, Ray? Because I never thought about it like that. So let's dig deep on that.
Yeah. So I watch a lot of the Y Combinator videos. Anytime I'm YouTube subscribe, and so I've been listening to that ecosystem. And there was one guy I came across, and he said something about the chats. And so what I've done now, Lloyd, I've kind of created my own GPTs.
Yes.
So you were talking about the prompts. Well, now I have an agent for marketing. I have an agent for finance. And I have an agent for every probably aspect, and they all talk to each other now.
Okay, so which platform are you using to develop these particular agents?
Well, since I am a developer myself, I've created them myself. So I'm using ChatGPT, their API.
Okay.
But as you know, you can create custom GPTs and you can give it knowledge.
Yes. Yes.
And so what I did was for one of the GTPs, I took all the like DoorDash is one, Uber's pitch deck, all these other different unicorn companies, and you can take that and you can feed that into the agent.
Yes.
And then you can give your information and and everything, and then you can create it and prompt it. And so Claude, Anthropic's Claude is probably the best one that does the writing. Like it by far. I played around with it today trying to get some images done, and I put an image into that one, and it produced something for me. But Chat GTP is the one that I use to create the custom ones.
Yeah. Okay.
And there are plenty. I know someone said, "How can you do it if you're not a developer?"
Let me show.
YouTube University. It's simple to profit. The paid version for that was like $20, and then you can start making your own custom GPTs, and you can feed it and give it information. But
so let me show you what I used to develop the agents for the founders. So like if y'all remember, like these AI agents, these are all agents that you can use that I've created for the founders based on the kind of training we're doing. But guess where I created them from was this Tascade, and I'll put the link in the chat. Let me find my link. I think I actually can just I'll put the. Let me see here. Let's see if I can copy this link and just paste it in there. Yeah, and paste it here in the chat. But yeah, so this is so Tascade. So you don't have to be a programmer to create these agents, and you can literally create them in a matter of minutes, and as long as you have the deal there. And so so it says create with AI, and you can just do a prompt in here, and this will create a project. But let's see if I can get to my thing here where let's see here. I'm kind of looking here. Let's see, get to they've changed this thing around a little bit where I need to see where all my agents are. I apologize here, but anyway, so this is literally here's a big old link right here in my face. So these are some agents that I created. So AI agent. So now I'm on the AI agent link. I say create with AI, and I just simply type in what I want, and it actually creates the agent. And if I want to add some knowledge to it, I can. If I don't want it to search the web, I can say don't search the web. And so, but they already got all kinds of agents already done. So if I want a content creator, I just click that, and it creates it.
I'm gonna tell you one of the best things about using an agent, Lloyd. I don't know if I shared that with you. Like early on, when I was calling on to the different endocrinology practices and everything, I was using this one tool, and so I was reaching out, and I took notes, and I took a picture of those notes, and I put it into a Chat GTP, and it gave me an idea.
Okay.
And that idea was, as I kept on hearing recurring things about diabetes education.
Yes.
And I was like, man, and it told me, it was like, based on the information that you've collected, it may be good to pivot to providing white labeled diabetes education to some of these clinics and companies.
Gotcha. Wow.
And I took that idea and I put that in ChatGPT, and it created me a template, a flip book, and those companies that I called on, I called back on them saying, hey, I'm reaching back out. We've created some samples of some of the diabetes education. I'm going to send it on to you. I didn't ask, can I send it on to you? I said, we're going to send it on to you.
Yes.
Right? Which email again? And that opened up 2 doors for us to get a pilot with those 2 companies by just like listening to them say, well, they didn't about the app, but it was more about, hey, we need like specific particular diabetes education for our clients. And that gave me I was like, okay, let me try that. and now now that's a warm call now. Like we have that relationship established. So now, like when someone has diagnosed and something like that, now we're one of those providers, one of those partners that they recommend people to us now. And that was from putting all my stuff into the agent came up with that.
So let's back up. But one of the things I wanted to emphasize for folks, people are sitting out there, and we're providing these resources for you, but you have to take the initiative to use them. And so the email that I send out every week, it has all this agent information and tools in it. So if you don't read the email, you're doing yourself a disservice, because there's no reason that you should be held back. If you don't know how to do something, I'm stuck, I don't know what to do. Just type it in there. I'm stuck. I'm trying to do this. I'm stuck. I don't know what to do. And it's going to come out with an approach for you to kind of move forward. Yes.
Yeah.
Thanks, Tony, for that comment.
Yeah, definitely. And like you said, Lloyd, like I have an agent that reads my emails for me and summarizes my emails for me now, and it talks to me. So I created one that takes all my emails and puts them in a category. And I have them, and it talks to me, it tells me, and I talk back to it, and it takes my notes for me. Like I've kind of just built a whole ecosystem around these things now to kind of help me maneuver and teach me how to cook as well. I'm learning, trying to cook a little bit better.
Yeah.
And I've been using the agents. So
I'm glad you mentioned that talk thing. Like for example, just to show you how quick you can actually do this stuff. So once you run that business idea prompt, so like what I did last night for the founder, I ran this business idea prompt and sent it to him, and then also used this one pager and went to Notebook LM and created a podcast, and just to let me see if I can do something here. Go to Notebook LM real quick, and so let's see here. Share my screen real quick, and I'm gonna try to do a little quick demonstration here, but I got to make sure I can see if I can share my sound. If I can't,
if you're a founder and you're not using Notebook LM, then because like that's my source for everything. Like I have a notebook for every day, Lloyd. Now, like every day I learn something, I have a Notebook LM. And I'm like I said, I'm teaching my sons how to use this stuff because it's going to be definitely a changer for everybody.
Yeah. I just want to make sure when I share this, I share the audio, because this is one feature that I like about the Notebook LM. So I got the sound there.
Yeah, it's not that good yet, and it's not even good yet. Yeah. That's the thing about it. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So like, let me get one. Let me find one real quick here. Let's say I all the information I've blacked it. And I didn't do too much on this one. This one is the about the summit. The putting this AI summit together, and I created a notebook, and these are some documents. I put in there, and so I had to generate this podcast here, and so and once it loads it, then you see this interactive mode here. So have you ever tried that with Notebook LM?
Oh yeah, I've created all kinds of Notebook LMs. Like I've launched podcasts with this that people don't even know. Like anonymous podcast, a diabetes podcast with it.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And so like what I was like literally suggesting to founders is, so you create this podcast, and this is available to everybody if you got a Gmail account. So I'm going to launch this podcast.
Welcome back, everybody. Today we're going to be diving into something I think is really inspiring.
And so I'm going to join this podcast. So I'm basically interrupting the podcast.
Welcome back, everybody.
Oh, hey there. How can we help?
Yes, I'm Lloyd, and I want to learn some stuff about what's going on at the summit.
Hey, Lloyd, welcome. We are just about to dive into all the exciting things happening at the Black Founders Innovation Summit.
Yeah, Lloyd, thanks for chiming in. We are about to explore how this summit is really empowering the Black community and the world of AI.
Absolutely. So, as we were saying, this summit is super interesting because it's not just about the nuts and bolts of AI.
Right. It's about the bigger picture, empowerment, culture, building.
Yeah, and I don't, could you hear that, Ray? Yeah, and so yeah, you muted right now, Ray. But what the deal is like imagine if you put your business information and you can chat and help understand verbally with your business information.
Yes. And the other thing, like people said, those sources there, you can put YouTube videos, you can put like papers, you can copy, you can link it to your Google Doc or anything in there, and it builds like this database for that particular subject matter. And like the new thing they just did, Lloyd, I don't know, that mind map, they just dropped that like this past week,
Yeah,
where
I haven't tried it. Yeah.
it'll chart out everything for you. So I'm gonna go back in and see it did mine update, because the other day when I looked, mine didn't have that mind map, and that's something I kind of really need. But yeah, Notebook LM, it kind of puts it all there in one place, and you can listen to that in the car. Like you can learn anytime, anything now. Like drive to Walmart, 20-minute drive there and 20 minutes back, and you can pop in your Notebook LM into the speaker system and talk back and learn, and then tell it execute something. Like that's the other thing about it. Like it'll actually do stuff for you too if you know how to do it for you. Some of these chat GTPs, they have the task now that
Yeah.
you need to do stuff. And yeah, if you're trying to execute and do some things, like I'm working on a big project for August that I'm doing, and I'm leaning on it heavily to try to see how I'm going to get people engaged at the event I'm going to in August. And yeah, it's just some powerful stuff, and it doesn't take too much time to learn this stuff. It's like anything else, just play around with it. There's plenty of YouTube videos of people doing
Oh
it
yeah, for sure.
everywhere. I've learned most of the stuff like oh wow, I didn't even think of that one, like to learn how to do it. And so the resources are just out there everywhere. So
Oh yeah, there is definitely no shortage of stuff, and it's just kind of getting into habit. But you're the first one I heard say, well, I cut off all these subscriptions and use it so I can get the top AI stuff. That I need. You making that trade?
yes, I am. Yes, because yeah, I feel like those things they have a rate of return. You
Yes.
know, for me, I can entertain myself learning stuff for me
Oh
right now,
yeah.
because like Lloyd, like everybody's been saying this, Will I Am, Van
Yes.
Jones, Robert F. Smith, they've all said this, like that in the next 5 years, we're going to see just a dramatic change on how we do things. The shift, we have things
Yeah.
going on here, geopolitics right now going on. We're going to see more people that are retired than people are working in the
Yeah.
next, like, so we got all this stuff going on right now. But we also have the good things about it is that this can empower our community to be able to, like, the great equalizer.
Yeah. Yeah.
For me, with Black Tech Mafia, what I'm doing, I call it the reboot, because
Yes.
now we have an opportunity to get back to having sustainability and
Yeah.
creativity. We already have the creativity. And so
Yeah.
one thing that I've been trying to work with people on is like, how can you take what you got? Because I think so many
Yes.
times we think about what we don't have instead of what we do have.
Right. Right.
And that was something that was a blocker for me as a start, because I thought, hey, I had this great idea. I was going to go out and get VC money, and they were going to write me a check for hundreds of thousands of dollars. It didn't work that way. But
No.
no one's going to out hustle my grind. And so that's one thing I want to tell people that are on the call, that the idea you may have, or what business you have now, is that for the next, after what's going on now, like, you're going to always have to have a pivot. You're going to always have to anticipate change,
Mhm.
because what we know before, this is kind of like, this is the beginning of what the internet was like for us 30 years ago, when
Yeah.
everybody was like, I'll never put my credit card online. I'll never buy anything online. Well, if a business is not doing that, they don't exist. That's kind of
Yeah.
how the same thing this AI era is going to be if you
Oh
don't
yeah.
learn this. I truly
Yeah.
think within the next 5 years, if anybody
Oh,
that's a
so you're using the term 5 years.
Mhm.
So what if I told you the capability of AI is doubling every year? And now you talk about 5 years from now. Can you imagine what that's going to be?
Yeah, and so you say, but so I think like it's going to move so fast that the laws are not going to be able to keep up with it this time
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
they don't even understand it really. And so
Yeah.
I was looking at something that says like every 7 months, these LLMs are getting better and better and
Yeah.
better.
So yeah, you're right, because when the guy, I was in a conference last month, and the guy said, the capabilities of AI is doubling every 12 months. I know it's actually happening faster than that. So 7 months sounds even more, and that's why the we're doing what we're doing, because before you turn around, things are just gonna be so different. And so people are saying what the capabilities of AI can't do this and can't do it. I say, well, are you keeping up? Did you see what just happened yesterday? But I work for the government, and I saw what this stuff could do almost 20 years ago. And so, but I knew people wouldn't believe it. But with all this Chat GPT stuff and all these different things, you're literally seeing, you know, uh, and yeah, you're literally seeing. But with the Y Combinator, they're basically saying that 25% of the founders coming through their program, their AI is generating 95% of their code.
Yep, they just said that like you said just a few days ago, like the
Yeah,
last cohort. Yeah, and
yeah,
so it's like now they're saying they're just like product managers, like they
yeah,
the
yeah,
code. And because like I'm using Claude code right now, and literally
yeah.
I spun up an application full MVP like in 30 minutes.
Wow, that's
And
crazy.
if you got the right prompts, and that's another thing for some of the founders and people like Lloyd. I have a whole Google Drive full of prompts.
Yes,
Because that was one mistake I'd made in the early part of like not keeping up with my prompts.
yes,
And so now I have like a whole like for the prompt, it created that. Like, let me keep that and keep that. And so kind of being putting together like a tool like that to help other
yeah.
founders because I'm helping other people now with their
So,
startup.
like I tell people, some people are afraid to kind of get started, and so if you remember, my approach, that I shared, with y'all during that cohort was, I read an article said leverage AI to 100x your business. So I said, so I'm trying to help these founders. So what can I do with AI to help that? And so I didn't know what Chat GPT was capable of. But I just said, are you familiar with it? And it said, yeah, and then I say, can you do this? And then it does it, but you don't have to know. So you don't even have to know how to prompt. You can say, please create me some, I'm trying to do this. Please create me some prompts that I can use to accomplish this. Yeah, it's like it doesn't care what level you're at or where you're at or what your experience is. Yeah,
That's right, exactly. And
yeah,
and some of the tools are out there. Let's say, Lord, thank you again. I remember you saying that, to fall in love with the problem, not the solution,
yeah.
and then use the tools that you have. And for anybody that's on the call, if you have domain expertise in anything,
Anything. You're exactly right.
you should be using these tools to leverage that expertise, monetize it, and distribute it.
Yes,
Like
yeah,
and if you don't know how to do that, then you can ask Chat GTP can do that for you, or Claude, some of the other ones, Perplexity, Gemini. Like I'm using pretty much all of them,
yeah,
uh, and they all do good different things. So
yeah,
deep research, all those. So definitely, Lloyd,
yeah.
I've appreciated and enjoyed the conversation, and yeah.
Yeah, and I appreciate you, Ray, and I want to acknowledge Lydia is watching on Facebook. Looks like that, but one of her students is here working with me, and so 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 he's only, I think this may be his fourth or fifth day or something, but he's leveraging the AI stuff. And like that two test aid, like I told him I was going to be out of town the first 3 days of the week, and I said, well, how are you going to plan your schedule out on what you're going to do? And he said, I don't know. I said, well, paste your work schedule in there. You have the project with all the things you need to do, and have it plan out something for you to do each day when I'm not here. So I get a text on Monday, said there's something, I can't put this software on the computer. I said, well, just go on the chat thing, say on the test day, say, well, I can't access this tool to do what I was going to do today. Please recommend something else to do based on my project. and so he's literally leveraging AI for his whole work experience. Yeah.
That definitely, that part. Yeah. And I use it for everything. I talk to it all day long. It's becoming like it's
it's your co-founder, huh?
Yeah, exactly. Leveraging AI as a co-founder. Yeah, that's what some people are actually doing now. Like the solo founders to get going and everything. And it doesn't talk back.
Yeah, that's exactly right. So Ray, we didn't talk much about your A1C plan, but you did give the link so people can actually start doing working with that. But one of the reasons why I wanted you to give an update, but I think the update is that you're leveraging AI and to kind of do your business planning and to build your app and stuff like that.
Yes, sir. And so like I used AI to it created another stream of income while I was the app off, which was the diabetes education. So, we started with the diabetes, the app, and was trying to get people to do that. But then we heard through AI, hey, you do this to be the entry, and then you create that relationship. Now it's a warm relationship, and now they're more to pivot to being able to push the app out to people. Again, the app, we're not in the app store. We want to control the data because of that data. We're going to do other initiatives with that data.
Yes.
Because, if we have that data, so that the app pretty much is the AI powered platform that you can manage it's connected to a continuous glucose monitor. I won't say the name of that monitor right now because we're talking through some negotiations right now.
Okay.
But then you can track your medication and reminders, and you can just talk to it. It's just like, think of it as the Alexa or the Siri of diabetes care management.
Yeah.
And that platform will know everything about you because you're going to be giving it your information, right? And the thinking in the future is that I believe all healthcare professionals, regardless if they like it or not, they will have an assistant for every patient they have will be an AI, and that will talk to when I go to the ophthalmologist, when I go to my endocrinologist, when I go to my podiatrist, like all those AIs are going to be talking one day.
So Ray, and I don't know if people really seeing this is so like you doing this for diabetes, but you literally implying that if somebody was familiar with high blood pressure or kidney disease, you could do a similar pattern with any of these things.
Yes.
Yeah. And so you could take the same approach you took and based on and kind of move forward.
Yeah. And I tell you, I got that, Lloyd, some of that thinking when I worked at Amazon. And I worked at Amazon here in Nashville, the corporate. And everything they were thinking 5 years increments. Today, they were thinking 5 years increments. And so that's kind of how I'm looking at the whole thing with the platform, and even with some of the education out there. Like 5 years from now, how will we be doing this? They'll go solve that problem again with those new tools. So
So we'll go ahead and we appreciate everybody chiming in, and we got some great guests lined up for the next few weeks. So just stay tuned and pay attention to those emails. It's because the secret to just said, we've been trying to work with founders and help founders out to make it easy for you while you want to continue to try to do the hard way. So we'll see you all next week, and we really appreciate you all joining in. And go ahead and sign up for the Black Founders Innovation Summit. So because it's going to be a great event to help you move forward. We'll see you all next week. Talk to you all later. Bye-bye.
Here's a detailed breakdown of our Black Founders Program achievements and components. Program Reach and Impact, Global Reach, supporting over 500 founders worldwide, focusing on Black founders who often encounter systemic barriers in the startup ecosystem. Training and cohorts, delivered structured, hands-on training over the past 2 years. 9 30-day business model design cohorts, guided founders through designing scalable business models using the Lean Stack platform. 3 90-day launch programs, supported startups in validating demand, launching solutions, and refining their offerings. Our first Black Founders Innovation Summit attracted 92 in-person attendees and 182 registrants. Included networking events, speaker presentations, and panel discussions to provide diverse perspectives and practical insights. Training platforms used. Lean Stack, focused on scalable business model design and launch, with practical tools for customer discovery and validation. Startup Science provides education tailored to each phase of the startup lifecycle. Co-Founder OS measures entrepreneurial skills, offers certifications, and provides frameworks for building confidence in navigation the startup ecosystem. Patent Hacks trains founders on intellectual property, including patents and trademarks, to protect and leverage their innovations. Key goals and focus areas. Knowledge and resource bridging helps founders acquire critical startup knowledge, connections, and opportunities to secure funding and resources. Scalable Solutions emphasizes building sustainable, scalable business models to ensure long-term success. Diversity and Inclusion supports Black founders by providing a space where their unique challenges and perspectives are addressed. Event highlights over 200 consecutive weekly startup founder best practices events since October 2020. These provide ongoing support, practical insights, and networking opportunities for founders. 10 demo days, which serve as accountability milestones where founders pitch present progress, e.g. the 3P progress report, persevere, pivot, or pause. Focus on wealth creation in emerging industries, encouraging Black founders to participate in opportunities like AI and other tech innovations. The Black Founders Program reflects our strong commitment to equipping Black entrepreneurs with the tools, knowledge, and ecosystem connections they need to succeed.